now.
Yes, we are streaming live. So, yay! Good morning. It's day 3 of our 4-day challenge. Are you guys excited? I
I'm
am.
excited.
There's been so much progress. It's so exciting to watch everybody and get the notes and like, hey, it's not too late to jump into this. If you
Right.
are still day 3 and going, oh, I haven't done anything yet, it's okay. Just go back and download the workbook and start because it's your 4-day challenge.
Right. And that 4-day can be live with us or it can be at your convenience. Just really would be great if you could do the 4 days in a row.
Yes. That makes the impact.
That is right. That starts that whole consistency thing, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, we hate that word. No, we don't.
Oh, well,
It's actually one of the best words in the world.
yep. It makes you take action no matter what.
Mhm.
No matter what.
Well, I know that this does. Ooh, I can't believe we're already on day 3. This is going so fast.
I know.
Good morning, ladies.
Good
Morning,
Good
everyone.
morning, Glennis.
And Glennis,
Morning,
No, excuse me.
congratulations.
Was it what CGA?
You know what? I just trying that branding thing. So I don't know if that'll work, but I just thought about it while I was on my walk yesterday. So I don't know what feedback I will get and things like that. I never branded myself that way before. So yeah, maybe I can consult with somebody or see if that works or whatever. But I don't know what worked, but I got one more registration for my course today. So I'm up to 6.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So I'm up to 6 young men, all between the ages of. So we were just like 3 yesterday, and now they're 6 just overnight. So something must be working. I posted some
See?
TikToks here and there. I need to know how to be more strategic, and do my TikToks a little bit better and things like that. So yeah, any feedback that I can get, that'll be great. But thank you for this group. At least it push me to take some action and do something. Yes. Otherwise, I always
amazing.
overthink everything. Yes.
Don't we all? I mean, that is just like a very common problem is that we overthink things. We are such perfectionists. And one of the things for those of us that are Maxwell leadership, Papa John says all the time, it's better to take a step and do the wrong thing than to take no step at all. I mean, I'm paraphrasing there. I know that's not exactly what he says.
But he's all about action. 40 years of action.
Right. And you just start small and you get better as you do it. You can't get better unless you're actually taking action.
That's right.
So congratulations. So proud of you because I know that's got to be stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, actually, yeah, a little bit because I usually do some videos while I'm walking. I have a bit of a vodcast. So, but you know what? The vodcast is called Walking Podcast. So that's what I do. I used to do before this challenge too. Because of late, I haven't been doing as many and as consistently simply because of that imposter syndrome, right? I've been thinking, oh, are people really watching or are they really benefiting or you know what, forget it, give it up and things like that. So I'm happy this challenge came along because it pushed me to kind of say that, okay, yeah, just do something. So thank you for
Mhm.
that.
One of the things that when you said that and immediately jumped into my head was that, consistency is king. And the other thing is that, first of all, bravo, a walking podcast. That is a really cool idea. And the other thing I have to remember, and because I'm very challenged with this myself, and people think I'm really, super confident, and I am self-confident. However, I also get that imposter syndrome thing going on. And I have to remember that when I feel that when I'm questioning whether or not anyone cares about my content, I'm thinking about me. I'm not thinking about other people. That's really a self-directed thought.
Yep.
And when we get into our zone of genius and we are producing and creating and thinking about how we serve others and how we can serve others, then we're going to step out of that comfort zone and we're going to get out of our own head and we're going to produce the content, and it is going to resonate and land with the right people.
Yep.
And if we can keep that in mind and do that little gut check, mind check when we start having those feelings, this isn't about us. This is about our ability to bring value to whoever it lands with. It's going to land with the right people. And that removes so much pressure.
Mhm. And you don't know who that is. So in your mind, you think, oh, I want this person to hear this, yet they may not be ready to hear it. You may
Mhm.
get, so like you said, you got 3 new people. That's amazing. That's like 100%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And it's no coincidence that you were at 3 and you're doing this challenge, which is encouraging you to take more consistent action. And even if it was a previous post or previous content that you put out or previous contacts that you had made, when we are doing things that help move us forward, all of the other stuff starts catching up. So these 3 may be from work you did previously. However, because you have stepped into moving forward and being more consistent, then the dividends, all those seeds you sowed are starting to be ready to reap. That's how I feel about
Mm.
it.
Well, you get
Yeah.
open to receive, right? We
Oh,
talk about
yeah.
this every day on the Bible study. When you are open to receive and you
Mhm.
go through that transformation, because so many times we do stuff, but yet we are not open to receive. When you're
Mhm.
open to receive, that's when the blessing comes in.
Mhm.
So taking the action, getting in the right mindset is 99% of it, right? You know that you're ready to receive this because you have so much to give. So
Mhm.
that's just Glennis, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
Very
Melanie. Thank you,
excited.
Shelley. Thank you.
And Jess is over there in the chat. I don't know if you
Yes.
saw that. Oh yeah, Linus, you did. Okay, cool. So
Yes. Yes.
let's
She's
just
been
do
wonderful.
Yes.
we'll do a little bit of recap about yesterday. So yesterday was day 2, and yesterday was about, what was yesterday about? Wow, I've slept since then. Um, targeting the right platform. And we talked about demographics of both your ideal client and the different platforms, and then how to work to see what's going to be probably the best fit by cross-referencing those 2 things. We talked about looking at what our competitors are doing, but not copycatting them. We want to be authentic, looking for gaps, looking for ways that we can differentiate ourselves based on what our competitors are doing. And then we talked about content. What kinds of content are you comfortable creating? Where can you kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit? And then being realistic about how many platforms you can really realistically run based on what it takes to do that in a consistent manner. And then finally, we had our homework, and the homework was really about identifying and just talking about identifying your target audience, cross-referencing to those platforms and see what you come up with. Is it where you are now, or did you get some surprises? And then identifying and reviewing a couple of your competitors' online presence. So did anybody do that? And do you have any great insights, or do you want to share how that went for you?
I mean, I kind of dived into it a bit, but that's where, with me being, I feel so new to this, I didn't know where to, pun intended, scale it down. Because of the fact, with the business that I'm doing, I feel like it speaks to so many age groups. I'm trying to figure out which age group, because I know I can't do it all, as far as like content go, because content and all that stuff would, depend on that age group. So right now I'm trying to, make the decision of which age group it is I would want to focus on.
Okay. Did you have any, did you look at, well, I don't even know if there really are any competitors in what
Well,
you're doing.
Yeah, well, what I had done is I've gotten onto YouTube and I've started watching YouTube video after YouTube video of, different places like PBS, other educational sources, and how they kind of present their educational material. And then I went on a few different like monthly subscription sites for like not for crafting things, but for different kinds of boxes to kind of get a feel for how they package it, how they send it, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, it was pretty eye-opening, and it was very informative, and it was very exciting because it made me realize that, oh my God, I could do this.
Yes, awesome. That's great.
It
Yeah,
is great. Congratulations.
thank you.
It takes
Yeah.
it takes the time, the dedication to just do it, right? Not to just say, oh, I'm going to scroll and kind of get
Right.
inspired, but really putting it together of what does this mean and how does this look, and can I really put this plan together? So that's awesome.
Well, and
you.
one of the things I think I might encourage, and Melanie, I want you to weigh in on this as well. And even Glennis, you're you're a veteran business owner and as well. And when one of the sayings is, if you try to be everything to everybody, you will serve no one. And typically in marketing, I would start out with my own age group because I'm going to have a natural affinity and connection there.
That's
And
what I was thinking.
kind of like with what we talked about with Glennis yesterday, directing your marketing at the actual audience, and then let those kids come back to their parents and, hey, can you check this out? I'm really interested in this. I think this looks really cool. And for you, I would say that your age group, you have moms who might see this as a way to do something with their kids, and or also start those conversations maybe with their moms and their grandmas. And then they would also become part of the community and part of the learning and the doing and creating those circles within families.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm so sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was really hoping for. Cause like, the whole idea was really inspired by, things that were done before, like the whole craftivism movement of the early 2000s. And it kind of took off again in 2010, but it's never actually gone anywhere. So I really think that it would be cool to, take the craftivism idea that was coined back in 2002 and just run with it in 2022 and kind of revamp it.
I think that's a great idea. Mel, what do you think?
Yep, got to try it. If you feel something that's moving you, then that's what you need to do next. And then you'll get the response, right? The universe will respond to you. That law of attraction, law of magnetism. I teach it all the time in the 21 laws. Like you just have to, if you're inspired to do it, take the action and then just see where it takes you next and navigate, and know that that's the response that you're expecting, right? The response that you're expecting is something for clarity, not I've got to do this. It's going to get you clear to the next level, and then get you to take the next action step and then get clear with that. So,
and while you're doing that, then, you've got to be tracking those metrics though. So if you're trying to see where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck, and your buck may not be running paid ads on a platform, but at least gaining not just followers, but engaged followers, people who are engaging in your content, who are signing up and buying your kits. Where is that coming from? And so as you continue to monitor that, you'll, as Melanie said, you'll gain more clarity, and it will just lead you down the path to growing your business in a fast way.
Mhm.
rather than shotgun approach.
Thank you.
So the second part of the homework yesterday was, do you feel you have a clear message to convey to your audience? And then do you need to spend some time getting clear on your messaging or defining your audience before you kind of really rocket ship off here? So did anyone need to do that? Felt like they need to do that? Or did you feel like you're already very clear on your messaging? They must feel like they're clear. Awesome. Just going through the exercise many times will either show you where you have some gaps or validate that you are where you need to be right now. So we're going to go ahead and move into the day 3 workbook. It's on the Facebook page to download there. If you haven't downloaded it, feel free. Or I'm going to go share screen here and we'll go through this. So, woohoo, share screen.
Get ready.
Share.
Here we go. New information.
Present. Woohoo. All right. I had to move some little things around on my screen here so I can see, get to the next pages. Damn. Oh, no. I'm going to go over here. Ooh, did you see that? Okay. So today, day 3, we're going to talk about knowing what to say and how to say it. And we know that it doesn't matter whether it's a product or a service, that storytelling is the best way to market. And this is a strategy that I learned to build content around stories, and stories that help us to tell not only who we are and why we're doing what we're doing, but how and what. So we want to get real clear and have some fun today. And so I think we're going to do quite a bit of brainstorming here once we get through the examples. So we want to mine our past for story ideas, because we all have seasons of life, and it doesn't matter what your age is, you have seasons that you have experienced in your life already. So season is a period of life that your audience can relate to, a time when you had to learn something that can help your clients. Examples of a season: if first time buying a home, a season when you were winning consistently, but started feeling pressure to continue to perform. Ooh, I had one of those. Studying for a big test that will allow you to start a new career. Maybe you're reinventing yourself. That's a season. A time when you got promoted, but you didn't really feel ready. So examples of seasons: you're an experienced sales leader who's passionate about building leaders. Now that's a season, and you've gone through some other seasons to get to that experienced sales leader that's passionate about building other leaders. So then we choose a moment from the season that involved us changing or learning something that will help our audience to know about us. Moments are transformational. This is what we're looking for, those transformational moments. A specific moment from an event in a season where you realize something big or small had to change. So an example of that would be, you received a promotion, but you didn't feel ready. You held a leadership position, but you didn't trust the leaders above you. I know Melanie's had that one. You worked hard for a position, but when you got it, it was very different than you expected. I know there's a lot of people who have experienced those moments. So season, you're an experienced sales leader who's passionate about building leaders. Moment, you received a promotion and didn't feel ready for it. 3, now this is the strategy. You knew you needed to find a mentor, but weren't sure how. So we're building here. And for story strategy, there's 2 ways that you can build this. Either tell the story of the moment and then share the strategy you used, or offer a strategy you learned and then offer the story of the moment. So I'm going to go back. So here's an example. this is story of the moment and then share the strategy. Example, you're an experienced sales leader who's passionate about building leaders. So your moment that you chose, your first management position, the story, you woke up feeling fear about leading a team when you thought you were going to feel excited. What strategy did you use in that moment? You learned 3 key ways to build trust with your team. Another example, you're an experienced realtor who's passionate about helping first-time home buyers. The moment you remember the anxiety of purchasing your first home and wish it had been different.
Mm.
The story, you have a passion to provide an exciting, smooth, and joyful experience for your first-time home buyer clients. What's the strategy? You've taken however many hours of training in first-time buyer representation and invested years in continuing education to be an expert and leader in the real estate market. So we've got all the pieces here. Now it's just wordsmithing. So let's go to, I'm going to go back. So if I was going to make a post about example number 1, I would say, do you remember the first time you were in a management position? I know I woke up feeling fear about leading a team when I thought I was going to be really excited about it. So what I did was I learned 3 key ways to build trust with my team, which made me feel more relaxed and able to connect with that team. So that's an example of story of the moment and then a strategy. For example number 2, I might build a post with something saying something. I remember the anxiety I had when I purchased my first home. I wish it had been so different. In fact, I have a huge passion to provide exciting, smooth, and joyful experiences for my first-time home buyers clients. So I have taken this many hours of training in buyer representation and invested years in continuing education to become an expert and leader in the real estate market to help my buyers feel that experience that joy and smooth transaction when they buy their first home.
Boom. Those are immediate trust.
Yeah.
Anyone that reads those, that has those experiences that you have, connect to you. They trust you. They want to hear your story. They want to go on that journey.
Any questions or thoughts about that? Have you been structuring or even thought about structuring your posts in this way? Your marketing materials? All right, I'm going to go on to flipping that to strategy story. So going back to the original example of you're an experienced sales leader who's passionate about building leaders, learn 3 key ways to build trust with your team. The moment with being first management and then the story. So this post might say something like, I learned 3 key ways to build trust with my team when I first became a manager, because I woke up feeling fear about leading a team when I thought I was going to feel excited. Example 2. Here's something I might throw in there. Let's see the strategy. I've taken 100 hours of training in first-time buyer representation and invested years in continuing education to be an expert and leader in the real estate market because I remember the anxiety of purchasing my first home and I wish it had been different. So these are short little posts, things you can, go on Canva, put a background on it because pictures and color attracts the eye when we are online. Those are the posts we typically will first look at. But what do you think of this story strategy or strategy story type of creating posts to help people to understand who you are and why you're doing what you're doing, and that they can trust you and want to follow you or use your services or buy your products?
I think it's pretty powerful, right? I mean, everybody wants to hear a story, and especially for personal stories, is something that people really relate to. So I think this is really amazing. Thank you, Shelley. I never really thought about it this systematically before, but I think this really helps with the structure and the intention of your posts and the engagement too.
Mm-hmm. And right. So you might have, and you might put at the end of your post, if you've ever felt this way, let me know, or
Mhm.
share with us how you overcame this, a fear of being a leader for the first time. So
Right.
it really opens up ways to engage your audience and start that conversation and get more people into the conversation. I just think it's such a dynamic way to do things. And I'm a storyteller. I learned a long, long time ago in sales that facts tell and stories sell.
Mhm.
Sell the sizzle.
Absolutely.
People want to connect.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
And that's how we build trust and credibility. So I love this strategy because it's simple. Again, I'm all about the simple. I don't need 20 steps. I need 4 to get me where I'm going.
Yep.
So that is the big part. That's today. This is, where the whole thing about building content that connects you to your audience so that they will be willing to not only buy from you, but also tell others about you. We want them to spread the news, the good news that we're here to serve, either through a service or a product. And so our homework is to identify 2 seasons from your journey, 2 moments from each season, and then 2 strategies and 2 stories for each moment. And the next part of the homework then is going through and building a post that, and I give you some, or we give you some prompting questions to spark ideas about seasons, moments, and story or strategy. And then we want you to come up with at least one fully composed season, moment, story, strategy, or strategy, story, content, and post that. And if you want to post it to the Scale for Women Facebook group, then we can engage with you on that, give feedback, do all those fun things. But we do have some time. And so what I'm hoping that we would be able to do this morning is kind of do this, take each of you that's on with us this morning and maybe work through brainstorming on a post that you might want to do. Are either of you or both of you up for that?
I think
Yes,
that'd be
I'm
great.
up for it.
Awesome. So let's talk about Glynis. Let's go with you first. So what are some seasons of your life that you think you could develop, find a moment in, and then develop a story around strategy that you use during that moment? I'm going to go back to there you go, our prompts.
Okay, when I had to learn something new is what you're saying, right?
When you had to learn something new, when you felt fear and had to find a solution,
Okay.
when you experienced a breakthrough and you would want others to experience that same thing, or a season when you loved what you were doing. I mean, there's so many seasons.
Mhm.
Could be, your work is predominantly with youth. So I would probably encourage you to think about a season in your youth when you had a season where you were learning something, or you felt like you had a breakthrough, or you felt fear and had to find a solution.
Yeah. I would probably go with the second one. What are the few different seasons when you felt fear and you had to find I had to find a solution? So basically, But it didn't happen when I was a youth. It happened when I was kind of already an adult, but I could still use that, I think, because it was
Sure.
one of my positions at work where I was actually bullied.
Oh,
And it was in the corporate world,
Mm.
but we were all working together in a team, and there were three older women in the team. And I mean, when I say older, on the plus side of 40, I was at that time. And there were three younger women. Those were in their 20s. And yeah, there was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of very toxic, negative environment at work. And so that was fear, right? I mean, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being, rejected, all of that fear because of that bullying situation. And I had to find a solution. So I guess,
okay. So so your season is you were a professional in the corporate world and in a toxic team environment, and you felt fear and had to find a solution. So let's now move to number two, which is defining a moment within that season. The moment when you decided you needed to make a change or you committed to finding a new solution. So something that happened that was a defining moment in that season where you were like, this has got to change.
yeah, I actually did a couple things, and that didn't really work well. And so, I mean, I did one thing, and then so I had to just look for a second solution. So the first thing I did was, of course, um, I spoke to HR, right? And I
Mhm.
mean, I took the situation there thinking that that would solve the problem, but that didn't, because there were some of those bullies there that were friends of the HR person.
Mm.
And so it actually kind of backfired on me. So the second solution that I took was uh, actually had to change my job and go to another new place. And so that's when I got out of that toxic situation. But so I don't know whether that would really be the thing. I think it was around that time that I enrolled in the Maxwell leadership team as well. So I don't know whether all of this would be that second part. So
Okay,
what would you?
so what was there a moment, the straw that broke the camel's back, proverbially, that you said, I have to go to HR with this?
Yes. So the straw would be, it was affecting my relationship at home. So basically, I was being very negative and being very uh, toxic, back to my family and my husband and my two sons. So it started affecting my relationships at home. So that's when it was a straw that broke the camel's back, and I decided I needed to do something, else I would lose out, both with happiness at work and at home. So I knew I didn't want to let my relationships at home suffer. So that was the straw.
Okay. So we have a season. The season is you were in corporate America in a toxic team environment, being bullied. The moment was you realized this was affecting your relationships at home, the anxiety and stress that you were under because of the bullying. The strategy was to go to HR for help. But when that didn't work, you ended up removing yourself from the toxic workplace. So the
Right.
story built around that. And because you're working with youth, you might think about, let's put together these four things now. So let's talk about how can you word this? Because now you have a season, a moment, a strategy, and a story, how it all ended up. You have a happy ending. How do you word that so that it reaches your audience? And is the audience going to be parents or the teens for this?
No, I look at it this way that, I never want anybody else to be bullied the way that I was bullied. And that's the reason why I do all of the anti-bullying and the self-esteem classes, because just like youth are bullied in school, there are people that are bullied in corporate America too. And I don't want any bullies, to win. I want to give the youth strategies to overcome bullying. So that's the story, really, to take my story and then relate it to the bullying that they face, whether it's cyberbullying or in-person
Okay.
bullying.
So this sounds like for you, a story strategy is going to be a great fit, the way to put this together. So you're going to tell the story of the moment and then share the strategy that you used. So for you, it might go something like, because I was bullied in the workplace to the point where it was affecting my relationships at home, I knew I had to do something different. And when going to HR did not work, I had to remove myself from that workplace. And this has made me passionate about helping kids to have better self-esteem and to feel more confident. And this is why I blah, 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 blah. So telling the story of the moment and then the strategy. So your strategy was you went to HR and then you ended up having to leave the workplace to find something better. And for kids, that message of it's okay to remove yourself from a toxic situation because they don't know they can. And that's probably one of the big things that you help them to understand, right? So does that help to kind of figure out how to shape these?
Yes.
And they
And
can
Yes,
be
very much.
very
And it feels
powerful.
awkward, doesn't it, at first, because you're like, well, how does that relate? How are the kids going to relate to a job, um, a challenge at work? Yet it's really the same. Like we all experience those same kinds of things, those transitions. And when we talk about relationships, that's where you're trying to build the kids. That's why your belief about giving them empowering leadership skills is so when you get to this point, you will have the strategies to understand how to be confident in making those decisions.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important, and that's important when parents hear that. It's like, wow, she really does know her stuff. She really understands. And when kids hear it, it's, wow, you had to go through that. That's awful. And I want to learn from you.
Mhm. So it's a new way of thinking about how to craft and be creative in getting your message out. But we do know, I guarantee you, I mean, trust me now or believe me later, storytelling is the way to get to people's hearts and then their head.
Right.
And in fact, those of us that are Maxwell leadership know that Papa John is the best storyteller in the world. And that is how he connects with people. And that is why people get his message, because he does it in a storytelling way. But there's always, if you think about even reading a book, now that you know this 4-part strategy, you will go next time you listen to somebody or read a book and you're going to go, oh, that's the story of the moment. And here's the strategy. And this is why I get it. And in fact, if you want to go as far as for those who have a specific faith, if it's the Christian faith and you believe and you read the Bible, I mean, Jesus taught by parable storytelling to get his message across. And so we know Buddha, I mean, I don't know, I don't care what you believe in, but there are definitely across the board, the people who have the most influence are usually the best storytellers
Mhm.
when they're teaching. And we can do that within our marketing as well. And it doesn't have to be long.
Yep.
Jess, you want to work through one?
Sure.
Okay. So let's talk about first a season,
Okay.
something that so what's a season for you that you think you could build something around?
Oh, I think it would definitely just be the love for crafting and making things on top of, you know, I don't know, just understanding once you learn how to craft, just that feeling you get when you make something yourself. And it's just so empowering and so exciting that you can like show people something like, oh my gosh, look what I can do, you know? And then to marry that with, you know, something like a social activism and that kind of thing, I think it just makes for like the perfect marriage of just empowerment in general, really, and education.
Okay. So the season is when you started crafting
Yes.
yourself. A
Yes.
moment when you saw either an opportunity or that there was something that needed to change, or so this is actually maybe back to a time that you just really loved what you were doing. So maybe you can craft something around that. So the season is learning to craft. The moment is what would be a defining moment?
I think a defining moment was becoming frustrated or
Mm,
maybe being frustrated with the lack of content. And like, I know that when I was a baby crafter, I was obsessed with finding crafts that would have like a video to go along with it and something that was step by step that I could pause and I could see and I could understand, because I cannot tell you how many times I would get on YouTube and put it on like half speed and zoom it in to watch this lady do a crochet project, right? So I was like, well, what if I, you know, craft and create these specific things to do this with people, you know? So I thought that would be super cool. And I think what inspired the whole thing altogether, so like the whole thing that wrapped it up, would be current events, certainly the recent current events. So I think that was the catalyst that was like, hey, I think now is the time to do it. Now is the time to jump on it. And now is the time to run with it. Because I think that this may have started it, but I feel like it's such a wide spectrum of, you know, things you could bring into it. It's, you know, the opportunity is endless, really.
Okay, so season, learning to craft, moment, struggled with finding support in learning how to do it. And then strategy, you have, oh, what's your strategy here?
Could you define the strategy part of that again?
Sure can. So the strategy, what's a strategy you can offer to help someone in a similar situation? A strategy that you now know that you wish you had known then?
I think a strategy I could offer would be not only the product itself, but the community that comes along with it. Because I think that's where my business would be special in general, is because of the fact that it's marrying, you know, the product with the YouTube video. And I'm also wanting to offer like, you know, live sessions as groups, you know, so like there'd be certain days where it could be like a community getting together. So not only are you crafting, but you're also interacting with other people doing the same thing.
Okay, so to craft to put together some type of a post, you could potentially say something like, Melanie, help me out here. We have the season, the moment, the story, and the strategy, you know. Starting out, let's start with story. I love to craft because it makes me feel empowered that I have accomplished something. Yeah. Does that sound in tune, Jess?
Yeah, and I think I would also want to sell the fact, just as a mom, because I think that would be able to really bring people in as well.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let's have you start out here. So let's talk about start out with your story of why you decided to do this. Maybe not every reason, pick one moment.
Right. Okay, so I guess that I would say, as a young mother who loves to craft, I have found it frustrating in my own life when I was just beginning, to find any sort of content that would really be able to teach me how to do these things I want to do. I'm here to offer you not only this product, but the opportunity to meet other people. So I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah. So going back about 2 sentences. So you were frustrated with the lack of online ability to learn. So now here's your strategy. So I've created a community
Mhm.
and group sessions on learning how to craft. Go into just a couple of little things, because you'll want to do multiple posts over time, be consistent in your with that. And I mean, out of this one thing, you could probably get 10 posts.
That makes sense.
And just, dropping a little bit here, a little bit there, another little tidbit here. So your strategy is that you are providing what you wish you had known then, which is both the how to craft, how to crochet, but also the community that you didn't have when you started out as a young mom who liked to craft.
That makes sense.
So the strategies are key for creating value and building credibility, and the stories help to either boost your credibility or create connection. So keep that in mind, and don't overthink all these things, but once you start doing this process, things will start just coming to you. So I encourage you to have some paper with you or use your notes on your phone, or dictate into your notes on your phone when you have an idea. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about metaphors to help build these stories, and post with pictures to back up our stories. So I think that's going to be really, really fun for y'all too. So has this
Yes.
helped you, ladies?
It
Very
has.
much
Thank you
so,
so much.
yes.
So we hope that whoever ends up watching this on replay will please put in the chat how, first of all, replay. We want you to make sure that we're giving lots and lots of value and helping you to understand some new, different ways maybe than you've thought about in the past on how to up-level your content creation and become even more visible on whatever platforms you choose.
We have a couple of ladies that are following us here on Facebook Live. So
Yay!
Andrea, hello, good morning. And Linda
Woo!
Kirkpatrick, she is super excited and says, I've never heard this before. Trust me now or believe me later. Thanks, Shelley. I love it. And Linda's a writer, so it's so great to have her
Oh
in
my
this
goodness.
group because she helps people create content all the time. So I hope this helps you as well, Linda. This is so great. And then Claudia, hello, good morning. So yes, great to have all of you ladies with us this morning. And what do you think has been the most helpful? Put it in the chat here. If you have done the first and second days of challenges, how do you think this is going to now pull you to the next level? This story strategy is so powerful because, you don't have to overthink it, like Shelley said. It's just what happened at that moment. And then how do you connect that to helping somebody with something different? How do you help them to get through something because of your moment that you experienced that was so overpowering that you had to make a change?
Mhm. So exercise 2 for tomorrow, or when we're done here, find yourself a little bit of time. And I love this. I heard this. I was on a webinar or something the other day, and this woman said this, and it just hit me. Dance in the field of possibility. So get out of our heads, get out of our perfectionism, and just start creating, because we as women are literally creators. We can create life, ladies. If we can create life, we can create a lot of things. And we are the ones that get in our own ways.
Yes.
That's true.
So if you use Canva or Adobe, do it. I'm really, I have learned how critical it is to add color or pictures to your posts. And one of the other things we're going to talk about tomorrow a little bit is taking photos that you can use in your social media posts or videos, and like where to place yourself. You
Mhm.
don't want to have all your pictures head on. You want to have yourself kind of off to the side in the frame so that there's room for you to add text later. Your great quotes you're coming up with, and your great strategies and your stories. So you have to leave room. And it feels a little awkward and odd to be placing yourself to the side when you're taking a selfie or having someone take those pictures for you. But and then what's better? Landscape, or what's the other way, Mel?
Portrait.
Yeah, portrait.
But
Well,
you have to think
landscape.
about what social media platform you're looking at too, because so much wants a vertical position,
Mhm.
but if you do a landscape, you can always crop it,
Yes, but you
right?
cannot add to a vertical picture.
Correct. Think about a commercial though. Think about when you're watching TV commercial and you really start studying this, that every time that they come on the screen, that they have words, they're kind of offset, right? Nobody's in the middle of it with pictures. If you do Instagram and you're doing the captions, all the words are coming right over your photos, but and there's a lot of different ways to use that. Yet, if you watch just the regular commercials on TV, and you see kind of how that structure is, think of it that way, because that really catches somebody's eye. It prevents the squirrel from leaving your post, and they keep engaged.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the last day is not going to be I'm not going to say it's going to be the best day, but it's going to be pretty powerful. We have been building day after day. If you've been joining us, and even if you haven't been able to join us live, please know on our YouTube channel, Scale for Women, on YouTube, that all of our daily challenge videos are being uploaded there, as well as in our Facebook group. Ladies, if you are watching either live or replay, please share us with your friends, your
Yes.
women friends in sales leaders, executives, small business owners. I mean, we're all selling something, and we just want to pour in and add value to all of you to help empower and equip you to grow bigger, faster, and be part of a community that's uplifting and empowering women.
Yep.
Wow,
Absolutely.
we're 6 minutes early today. Woo!
Yay! And we've got lots of action here on the Facebook page. So anybody
Oh,
that's on the
great.
Facebook page, yeah, Claudia, I love the idea of thinking simple. How simple is facts tell, stories sell. Yes, genuine, honest, and always plain stories will make a difference. And she has a couple of stories up her sleeve too. So
Oh,
Linda and
great.
Claudia, we're excited. And remember, post these into the Facebook group so that we can all share ideas. Because remember, it's the person in the back of the class that doesn't say anything that has the question that everybody else needs to know the answer to.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness, is
Thank you
that
so
not the
much,
truth?
ladies. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Glennis, for
Thank
joining
you.
us, and
Thank you.
share
Thanks for
your
letting us make an
yes.
example out of you.
Yes.
Always up for it. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Well,
God bless
hopefully it was
you.
helpful.
Okay. It was very. Thank you.
Go CGA. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yay. And if you have any youth that are really ready to explore leadership, Don't forget
self.
about Glennis. Don't forget about Glennis because she's got programs coming up. So she
Yes, tonight.
doubled. You doubled it. So if
Oh my
anybody
gosh, overnight.
register, right?
Woo!
You can still register. Let's get her 3 more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. If I can
Yes.
post the link, that'll be great too. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Go to the Facebook group and post that link so people can sign up for their kids.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one, ladies.
You
Bye-bye.
You
too.
too, Glennis.
You too.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Jess jumped off. I think probably baby Rosie was not taking a nap any longer.
Yes. Oh, that is great. Yes, Linda, everybody, any questions that you ask, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to help you guys do is just connect on things that you're thinking
Oops.
about, that you're struggling with, that you are excited about, because this is how we grow. This is how we grow together. So we want to encourage you. Like it's, it's free reign.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out here.
Yeah. So I think, and we're going to have specific days in the Facebook group where it's going to be like, share your wares Wednesday or something. We're still kind of, we're learning as we go too. We both have Facebook pages for our businesses, our independent businesses. And, this is new and different. And, we want to not only empower women through learning and teaching, not only our learning or teaching, but you all learning from each other, because there's a lot of dynamic and successful women in this group who just want to get a little better or a lot better, a lot faster.
Yeah. And we can do it together.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We can do it together. All the rising tide lifts all ships. So
Yes, it does.
we need to just hang in there and know that there's a lot of talk and a lot of noise about the economy. And here we go back into this recession. Yet we know as business leaders, we have the capacity to pivot faster than anybody else. We don't have to have the boards that have to make decisions, that have to give us permission to do what we know we need to do. So
I have to tell you, in my businesses, my best years were during quote unquote recessions, because you know what? I can outcreate anything that comes up in my life.
Yep.
And, that's something that women are pretty good at, is creating.
So,
all right. Thank you, everyone.
We're excited. Keep going and join us tomorrow live if you can here in the Zoom room or on Facebook, and we will keep you motivated because tomorrow is day 4 of the challenge. Do your homework and let us know how it's going.
And
Bye.
post your videos and your stuff in our group so that we can all share and see them, and start following each other's pages. Y'all need to start following each other's business pages, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, wherever you're at.
Yes.
So
put your links in here so we can all start following you.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Have a great day.